Hi, story lovers and storytellers alike. My name is Bwomono, and I will be reading a story called "Race Across the Sky" by Yvette Mbabazi and Rich Wagaba. It's from The Old Woman of the River and Other Stories, a publication of 4040 Foundation. Long before the time of robots and space travel, there lived a boy in the seven hills of Kampala. This boy dreamed of racing across the sky like a shooting star he'd once seen out his window. It had blazed a fairy trail against the bluish black canvas of the night, and the boy had imagined it littering children's wishes in its wake. Wishes that were real, but so pure and precious that they vanished if you looked at them for more than a moment. He had fallen asleep, gazing up at the sky through that window, imagining himself dancing among the clouds. So obsessed did he become with his love for the night sky that everyone simply started calling him Nyenye, as that was what he called them. His tongue couldn't untangle the full name of the stars. In the daytime, whether he was out shopping with his mom or digging in the garden with his dad, Nyenye's gaze was always fixed upwards to the sky, while he kept repeating his heart's desires. I wish I could be a shooting star. I wish, I wish, I wish. Needless to say, with his eyes focused on the sky above, little Nyenye stopped being useful around the house. He was always tripping over toys and shoes or walking into doors and chairs and any kind of furniture. One day, Nyenye stumbled into a tray of beans, out drying in the sun, and one of them got stuck in his ear. He had to be taken to the emergency room. His father declared that Nyenye needed spectacles to fix that condition. Clearly, that boy had an extraordinary case of myopia, he explained. Nyenye's mom knew better. Quietly, she sent an appeal to the royals of the seven hills of Kampala. A few nights later, as Nyenye started to doze off, to the marvel of the stars gathered in the night sky, he noticed a star he had never seen before. It stood out particularly because it was growing larger, as though it were approaching him. Before he knew it, it was right at his window, smiling and waving at him, as if to follow it. Normally, Nyenye wouldn't follow anyone he didn't know, especially in the middle of the night. But the discovery that not only could stars come right to one's window, but they also smiled, made him impatient to investigate. Quietly, he scribbled a note telling his parents where he had gone, and that he would be back once he had solved the mystery of this smiling star. Then the star took Nyenye's hand, and together they floated across the sleeping hills and valleys of Kampala. Drifting, they rose up the slope of Namirembe Hill, over the top, and straight up past the clouds into the grand palace of the royals of the seven hills. Together, Nyenye and the star climbed up smooth white steps made of thick churning cloud. It was like walking on a living marble. Then the star ushered Nyenye through a tall gate of pure silver into a wide hall. It was draped from floor to ceiling with glossy velvet curtains in dark shades of indigo and violet. Seated right in front of Nyenye was the queen of the night. Thousands of stars glinted and sparkled in her crown of thick, soft hair. Young man, I have watched you and heard your pleas. Her voice rang across the hall. In his ears, it was as clear as water, but as cold and hard as ice. After consulting with my council of elders, I have decided that I will grant your wish. For your unwavering dedication to your dream, you may join the jewel of my crown. You will be made a star. Now Nyenye, who was already dazzled by the size and splendor of the palace, could not believe what she was telling him. He would have jumped, but he wasn't sure what happened if you jumped up when there was nothing except clouds underneath your feet. Instead, he pumped his fist in the air. The queen of the night smiled thinly and continued, You will be brought to the edge of the earth, where everything ends. There you will leap off the edge, and the night will catch you, turning you into a star. you have always wished to be? Have you said your farewells? Once we have transformed you into a star, you will not be able to see your father, your mother, or your friends again. This part, Nyenye had not fully considered. For the first time since he had first seen the shooting star through his window, he looked down and found himself thinking of something other than the brilliance of the stars. Far, far down below were thousands and thousands of warm dots of yellow light. He knew these to be the homes of the people of the 7 hills of Kampala. From up in the night sky, Nyenye realized that the 7 hills looked like they too were covered in stars. He wondered which of these yellow dots was his parents' home. He wondered what the soil in their garden would feel like tonight. Will I be able to wave and smile at them from the night sky at least? He asked hopefully. Of course you will, but they will never know. They will never see you wave or see you smile. It will not matter. You will be among the brightest and most brilliant of my stars, a jewel shining in my crown forever. This was it. The miraculous moment Nyenye had dreamed about for longer than he could remember. Yet now that he was up here, somewhere in the great bluish black that had always kept his dreams alive, but out of reach. Here, close enough to finally touch the stars, to dance among the clouds. All he could think about was holding his mother's hand on a Sunday afternoon at the market, or digging his hands into loosened soil and plucking out a fat root of cassava to add to his father's pile, or flipping the sheets with his mother just after they had done the laundry. In fact, while he stood there in the presence of the royals of the 7 hills and in the company of actual heavenly stars, little Nyenye thought about everything, but not the dream he had carried so long in his heart. He shut his eyes tighter and tighter to try and remember as much of it as he could. He was frustrated for not having paid more attention to it all when he lived on earth below. Desperately, he tried to grasp every memory he could before it was gone from him forever. Maybe if he closed his eyes tightly enough, he wouldn't have to let go of anything at all, he thought. Maybe if he focused on the smallest fragments of what he imagined, like the smell of his bedroom, or the scratchy material of his blanket, or the sun warming his face as it hit him in the morning, a gentle warmness that he could even feel now. Slowly, and with a lump in his throat, Nyenye peeled one of his tightly shut eyes open. It was morning again. He was in bed, curled tightly in his blanket, facing the wall. He flipped over and looked out the window, not sure what he was expecting to see. Had that tree always been there? And the grass? Was grass always that green? That morning was filled with discovery for little Nyenye. He realized that it was easy to get around without constantly bumping into walls and sharp objects. When he hastily flung his arms around his parents at breakfast that morning, he was pleasantly surprised to note how warm and comforting that hug was. He decided that he would do that more often, every chance he could. All of it, more. Thank you. That was a story across the sky. My name is Bwomono. Join us again for another edition of Me, I Read next time. Thank you.
Hi, story lovers. Thank you so much for joining us on this edition of Me, I Read. I hope you had a good time. If you'd like to join us for other stories, click that tab and it will take you to all our editions. And like, comment, share, tell other people about it, and let us know if there are other stories that you'd like us to read to you. Thank you and see you again very soon. Bye.